think that I do. Turn that down. Let's turn that down. Alright. And I'll just turn that off. And hi, everybody. For all two of you that's going to be here, welcome to Outlaw Radio. We are live here. This fabulous Wednesday, December the 17th. Happy to be here. Happy to be with you. Hope the holiday season is treating you well, and I hope you all can hear me. Feel free to shoot me a message and let me know whether you can or you can't. And if you're here just for the first time, I'm the Outlaw Adam Knight. I've been a professional wrestler, semi-professional, professional wrestler since 1995, all across Canada, through most of the Midwest, and I've been to Japan a couple of times. Had a cup of coffee here and there. I'm also a self-published author and a bunch of other things. If you like any of that stuff, please check out the links below to my pro wrestling tees, to my books on Amazon. And if you want to check out my Patreon page and join the very small community that I'm building there, that would be aces. I hope you're all doing all right this evening. I was actually going to talk wrestling again tonight, if that's okay. 898-4M. Hey there, buddy. Good to hear you. Glad to hear you. I hope the music came through okay and was working all right. I'm going to get a little bit of weird ass ASMR right here, so I'm just going to... Oh, yeah. I'm going to keep the can facing the other way, but I promise you, it's not a Pepsi with lime. It's a Pepsi Zero with lime. All right, I promise I won't do a lot of slurping into the microphone. That's not cool. Anyways, so it's been an interesting year in the pro wrestling world because for the first time ever, we had a top-flight, top-name grappler, a person who's drawn a shit ton of money, who's had a shit ton of fans, and has garnered the interest of several generations, several young generations, announced that they were going to go on a retirement tour. They were going to travel the world with the biggest company, in the world, off and on, as the schedule permitted, and they were going to, you know, try to give back and go out on their own manner. Austin Acid, good to see you. Jesus Christ, be careful on the bus, man. I have no idea what the roads are like coming all the way up from where you're at. Be safe out there, and I'll see you on Friday. So let's talk a little bit about how this year went, if you happen to be a fan of Mr. John Cena. Now, I will admit to being one of those guys when John was starting to get his push. Vulcan Nerd, good to see you, buddy. I will be the first to admit that when Mr. Cena was first getting his push, I didn't get it. I mean, looked great. I was definitely connecting with the audience, but being the type of person who was very much focused on the in-ring aspect of the work, I was very much of the opinion that, you know, he wasn't connecting with me. And I will admit it took me a little bit to get into it. And also I had to get to the point where I realized, hey, you know what? What I think as a wrestler is not as important as what the audience that's paying their money is there to think. And now that last bit is very important. We're going to come back to that in a minute. Anyways, John Cena goes and has himself a fantastic career. The type of career where he's got hundreds and hundreds of matches on the road, selling merchandise and selling out arenas all over. And it didn't always start out that way. He was put in a position where he was the top guy during a period of time where the company and the business was not doing great. That stretch of time in the early to mid 2003 to 2009 was not a hot time for the industry. I know. I lived through it. I lived through it. It was real difficult to watch. But there's no question that John Cena was given the ball and he ran with it and he ran with it and he ran with it. And by God, if it didn't turn, the business didn't turn around. Not all due to him, but definitely due to the generations before him that helped elevate him, some of the terrible storylines and bullshit he had to deal with along the way. But at the end of the day, he'd become exactly what the company had hoped he would be, and that is their top guy. And he drew a lot of money, and he drew a lot of fans. And he used that platform in a responsible way, which is not something everybody in his position can say. You know, we all have our missteps, we all have our fuck-ups now and then, but by and large, I don't think you're going to find too many people who are going to look at John Cena and go, this guy is a prick, and he went out of his way to take advantage of others and take too much advantage of his position. So, that was by and large his career. And if you're here right now and this is the first you're hearing of John Cena, you're a pro wrestling, or you're not a pro wrestling fan, you're in the wrong stream. But that's okay. You're welcome to stay here. Again, please check out all the links below. It's a good time. Cena Peacemaker's done a fantastic job. As a guy who, got it, who's publicly admitted that, he took his first acting job in The Marine because the company wanted to branch out and make movies, and he talks about how much he didn't like the process and didn't get into it. To see the transition he's made as an actor and as a performer is refreshing. It's very, very encouraging to say. That's right. And that's to say, Vulcan. Yeah, he has done this since the Make-A-Wish Foundation and all his appearances. Absolutely, yeah. It's all right, man. Yeah, I could make any jokes about the number of times people haven't seen John Cena at all, but that's all right. I've seen him wrestle once or twice. I've seen him live and shaken his hand a couple of times, so I can vouch for the fact that he is a consummate professional and a gentleman. So, here we are now. After a year-long final hurrah, he has a grand total of 18 matches this year, which actually probably is more than me now to think about it. But that's fine. He's had a hell of a run. Went out of his way to publicly state that he did not want to pick his opponents, didn't want to push his own agenda. Was given some arguably challenging angles. Was given a belated late career heel turn that probably didn't go the way anybody had planned, but it succeeded in the ultimate event, which was to make the crowd really, really, really anxious for the return. Word life. Good to see you, Evan. Thank you for showing up to the party. Hope this is going to be engaging. So at SummerSlam, when he makes his big turn back, and he has the face-off with Cody Rhodes in the rematch from WrestleMania, the crowd is given exactly what they want, which is, the chance to cheer for their hero as he begins the final stretch home for the rest of his career. I think everybody's got a Macho Man impression, Vulcan. I really think they do. And if you don't, well, sometimes it's a difficult thing to not have a Macho Man impression. Yeah, mine's probably not very good, but that's okay. Anyways, so let's talk about Saturday night's main event. Saturday's main event happened this last weekend. It was Saturday. It was aired on The Cock in the States and Netflix internationally. I watched it on YouTube. I didn't watch it live. My daughter was busy and I had a life, and I watched it, a couple of hours later because I heard there was some flack about it and I wanted to watch it for myself. It was calling balls and strikes in this one, I got to say. Calling balls and strikes in this one. Bone saw's ready, 8984M. Sorry. Saturday's main event happens. They bring in Gunther to win the tournament to have the right to face John Cena in his last match, which, in a classic traditional booking sense, makes all the logical sense in the world. Get your giant foreigner who is a monster, who mauls people, and put him in there with the great American hero. Every kid's favorite. Every kid's favorite. The person they refer to as the greatest of all time, Mr. John Cena. And in that moment, it's you guys are killing me. I love it. No, don't stop chatting. It's they have what I would not call a classic match, but they had the right match. They had the kind of match that did everything it was supposed to do. They're show a guy who's been a hero for so many, who didn't have as much in the tank as he used to, taking on a gentleman in his prime, who's made a career out of mauling people his entire career. I would have killed to have had a match with Walter on the Indies. Watching him as Gunther just absolutely kill guys in the main roster is stupendous. So putting John Cena through his paces and wearing him down methodically the way he does everybody was simply just a treat to watch. And then we get to the end. So spoiler alert, if you're of the 5 people that know, if you haven't seen the end of the match and you don't want to know, now's your time to back away. But I'm assuming if you're here by now, you know enough about wrestling to know what's going on. Gunther slaps on the sleeper hold. His big finish when he's, his most consistent finish where he likes to wear guys out and choke them out. And after a long struggle, and I mean a long struggle, including multiple breakouts and returning to it like a python, John Cena realizes he's at the end of his rope. he realizes that he's got nothing left to give, that he's given everything he has in his body and his career to the industry and to the people. And so in his final moments, he has a smile and he gently taps out and ends his career. Now, I've heard the criticisms. I've heard the positives. I'm going to try to sandwich this one. That match was excellent. The execution of the match was excellent in my opinion. The crowd reactions for that match were excellent in my opinion. And I will say the execution of the finish was excellent. In a traditional booking sense, when you've got somebody leaving the territory and they're on their way out, as the title of this live stream says, you want to go out on your back. You want to do the honors for somebody on the way up. And I will say, just by having this match with Gunther, Cena had done that. However, and I'm going to say, if you are the type of person who, follows Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer and you watch their stuff online, and I do, because I love Dave and I love Brian, they're great guys. I'm not going to be as histrionical as Mr. Brian Alvarez, but I will say, it is kind of hypocritical in the never give up John Cena's last moments to give up the match. I understand the way it was done. I thought it was beautiful. I understood the reasoning behind it logically for John Cena, the character, and for the company. I understand the idea of that it'll put so much more steam and heat on the guy who beats him. But there's a couple of things about it that I just don't understand. Right? It's in a traditional sense, if John's leaving the company and he's on his way out, ideally because you're worried that he's going to jump to another company because his contract's up and he's going to try to go somewhere else and make some more money. Yes, you want to bury that guy 6 feet under on the way out. You want him to go out on his back. You want him to do the right thing for business on the way out and make sure the people that he leaves behind have a chance to continue to draw money and be strong. John's publicly stated he's not going anywhere. He doesn't need the money. Before he did this opportunity, the reports are that he'd signed a new Legends deal, so that we know he's going to get paid by the company to do public appearances and stuff for probably the rest of his life. Good for him. He's fucking earned it. So as a result of that, the going on your back in that way, I don't know. Now let's also take a couple other things into consideration here. Reportedly, ticket sales for that sold-out 20,000 seat arena in Washington, D.C. were astronomical. The reports of ringside seats going up for as high as $10,000 to $11,000. Ringside seats, okay? So that means that somewhere up in the nosebleeds, where you've got a dad and the mom with their 2 kids that, are coming to see their hero one last time, probably paying upwards of $500-600 for those seats, probably more, right? And that's only if they got them on the actual market. Never mind getting them, on the scalping secondary market, which we all know is horseshit. But it is what it is at this point in time. So you have to take that into consideration. You've got 20,000 people here that want to see one thing and one thing only. They want to see John Cena do what he does best and go out like a hero. Win or lose doesn't matter. Let's go out like a hero. Now, in my opinion, I don't see there being any shame in a tap out. I've watched enough MMA. I've been in enough real situations. I've rolled around with enough guys, and hell in my career I've tapped out plenty of times. Right? But there's a time and a place for it, and oh God, I wouldn't have done it. I would not have booked that. I probably would have still said Gunther needed to win, needed to go over, but I don't think I would have done a tap out. Because at the end of the day, you've got millions of children around the world who've grown up with the philosophy and the belief that if you fight hard enough and you stay out long enough and you never give up, you stay true to yourself, win or lose. So that's a hard call. It's a hard call for me. And it's also the sort of decision that I can see why they made it in the back. It's like, hey, yeah, you've never given up before, so this will really, really, really put Gunther over strong. Gunther's a multiple-time world champion already. He's beat the piss out of everybody. Nobody looks at him and thinks this guy's not a world-beating world contender. So maybe he wasn't the right opponent for John in his last match. I don't know. At that point in time, who do you put in there? I really don't know the answer to that question. But I will say, hindsight's always 20/20. It's very easy to look at the situation now and go, shoulda, woulda, coulda. We see this all the time in all versions of pop culture, right? You know, for all of my Force Center friends that are here right now, from Ken Knapsack's side and Force Center team, how many people do you know have watched in your life that said, oh, I saw that last Star Wars movie and I didn't like the way they did that. They should have done X, Y, or Z. Well, that's easy to say. It's easy to say you should have done it after you've seen it and now you've got an opinion on what was done. It's harder to say that going into it. So I see the logic of what they were trying to do. And honestly, I'm afraid that they've burned a lot of their fan base. I really do. You got 20,000 people that spent a shit ton of money to watch that. Got millions of people around the world watching that, wanting to see their hero go out in a heroic fashion. Now, again, WWE's got this huge-ass money deal with Netflix, so they're not going to be hurting for money for another 9 years. They're not. Their bills are all paid and then some for another 9 years. All their stockholders are going to be really happy. But they've done a lot of damage with their audience. Ticket sales, merchandise sales. I feel very strongly that the damage they've done with their audience, it's going to take a while for them to dig out of. Because not only it's not even just that John Cena lost, it's that he's not coming back. And there's nobody to replace him. Cody Rhodes, fine. He's not a John Cena. And to be fair, nobody's a John Cena, right? There was no other Hulk Hogan. Say what you will about him. There's no other Rock. There's no other Stone Cold. There's no Heartbreak Kid. There's no one else like that. You have to build your new guys. And while they've got a very talented roster of very over stars, they don't have that one or two people that are right there, that are really tippy-top pushing the business forward. So that's my opinion on that match. And I will say, because the comparison's been made between John Cena's final match and then what they did last year in AEW with Sting, where not only did Sting, in his mid-60s, get to go out on top, he got to go out defending as one of the half of the World Tag Team Champions of Darby Allin. And I will say that in that case, they made the right call, because Sting is on a different level than everybody else at that moment, especially in AEW, which is still a growing company. It's still a growing company, and they're on their way up. And Sting just being there and loaning his presence to that company elevates it to an amazing status. Hi, Ken. We love you, Ken. I saw your post today. We all love you. Don't pretend. I saw you fishing for affection, and I'm sorry I can't be there Friday. I got another gig on Friday. So, to me, it's a false equivalency, between John Cena's retirement and Sting's retirement, because Sting had retired multiple times. Sting retired, putting guys over at the end of WCW. When he came in and helped prop up TNA, and he was their world champion for a time or two, he put over multiple people on his way out of that company there. So he'd already done the honors on the way out. Sting's time in AEW was kind of like living the impossible dream, the final hurrah. He had no singles matches. His entire job there was to help elevate everybody else around him, have a couple of one-on-one, first-time matches with people he never had the opportunity to get in there with before, and to bring Darby Allin up to the next level. So in that case, I think AEW did the absolute right thing, where they had a sold-out house in Greensboro, North Carolina, probably not 20,000, but it was like 12 or 13 for sure. They had a packed house. People paid a shit ton of money. It was a long-ass show. They had just watched the Young Bucks, Darby, and Sting nearly kill themselves in that ridiculous tornado match. And that's another part of the story we don't need to get into. But if on that night they had laid out Sting and they'd pinned him or they'd made him submit, that crowd would have turned on the company. Not Sting. Wouldn't have put the heat on the Young Bucks. They would have turned on the company. And that, I think, is what is ultimately the biggest difference with today's professional wrestling and the traditional mindset. I really do think that there's something to be said about that. Because again, as old heads, in the old days, on your way out, you do the job. But there's also more than a few examples of a bunch of old heads that refuse to do the job on their way out. And I'm not talking about the Vern Gagnes, and I'm talking about, oh God, Vern Gagnes for sure. A lot of the old AWA guys didn't do it. So many people just up and retired, refusing to lose in their last matches on the way out. And you know what? The industry was different then. There's an exception and a rule for everything. So I think every situation is individual, and I think every situation is has to be judged upon its own merits and where the business is at the time. So I think at this point, if you have somebody who's beloved, who people are paying to see on their final run, give the people what they want. Right? At the end of the day, any aspect of the entertainment industry is a fan service business. If there's something you want to see from me here in Outlaw Radio or in my books or whatever, let me know. I'll do my best to deliver it for you. Because in the end of the day, I want my paying customers to feel valued, and I want you all to feel like you're getting your money's worth out of the time that I'm asking you to invest in with me. So there's that. Those are my thoughts on Saturday night's main event and John Cena and the finish. I think at the end of the day they made a call, and I'm not sure it was the right one. And again, like I said, hindsight is always 20/20. And even with hindsight, I'm still not sure what the right call really would have been. But knowing what I know now, I would have done something different. But that's just me. On the topic of old-timers and retirements, not me. I don't think he's listening to this, but I'm going to give him a shout-out anyway. To Vance, Nevada, who has been a stalwart of the Canadian independent scene for 31 years. And I know that because he broke in the year before me and was one of the first people to help show me the ropes and to bump me around and all that other stuff. Vance, after a long and illustrious career, is a fellow author. He's written several fantastic books. Please go check out his work. If you're in any way interested about the history of professional wrestling in Canada or North America, please go check out vancenevada.com. He's got some fantastic stuff up there. Vance is finally calling it a career at the end of January. He's got 6 dates left, as I understand it. He's based primarily out in British Columbia and Alberta these days. He's been doing a really good job with a fellow trainee of mine, Andy Anderson. They've been reigniting their tag team out there. And Vance, I'm sorry I can't be out there in British Columbia for this one. I'd love to be out there to see or to participate in, to shake your hand. I wouldn't have had the career I've had without the support and tutelage and the ribbing and the abuse and the ribbing that Vance gave me 30 years ago. So congratulations, man. I'm glad you're getting to go out on your own terms. With that said, though, it is interesting. I'm seeing all these people that are talking like, oh, all these guys and girls are coming near the end of their run and they're having these big celebrations on the way out. And I don't think it's going to be me. I'm not making any announcements. I don't have any plans yet, but God, you can see it. I got the gray in my beard, I got the hair falling out. Somewhere down the line, this right knee's going to need to be replaced surgically. That sucks. And eventually our bump card gets full. I realize right now, yes, I am the best goddamn heavyweight champion in all of Canada. And those are the words that I have to say. But, yes. Because Vance Manitoba doesn't sound as sexy as Vance Nevada. Let's call it like it is, Vulcan. I mean, there's a Vulcan Alberta, but nobody believes that either. Anyway, I'm just saying, if anyone's wondering when I'm going to announce my retirement tour or have my big final show or anything like that, I think it's going to be much more fair to say that there's going to be a day in the not too distant future. Well, not this year. It's the end of this year, but one day the match will be over, and I'll start unlacing my boots in the ring. So it won't be this Friday that happens, though, because this Friday we end the year with a bang. This year in Winnipeg, as your Blaze Pro Wrestling Provincial Champion. Glasses come off, I'm in wrestling mode now. As your Blaze Pro Wrestling Provincial Champion, I, of course, will be defending the Provincial Championship and proving once again why I'm the best goddamn heavyweight in all of Canada. The uncrowned Canadian Heavyweight Champion. Finishing his first rookie year, the man who won the Fire Drill Rumble we did at the last show, the Halloween. The gentleman who refers to himself has the white snake. Yes, he is going down the only road he has ever known, and that road leads to me. This Friday, Christmas Massacre 2, Winnipeg, Manitoba. Go to blazeprowrestling.com right now if you're in the area and you want to grab your tickets for that. I understand we're going to be sold out because we've sold out every goddamn event we've had in 2025. So we're going to end the season strong. It's not just me, though. As much as I just want to talk about how great I am in all of my other matches. Of course, the Hardcore Championship will be on the line. Billy Blaze, the founder and the champion, will be in action. We're not sure who his opponents are going to be, but it's probably going to be a ridiculous hardcore war because it is going to be a fans bring the weapons match. Please keep them creative. I've done fans bring the weapons matches. If you're going to do them in a way that isn't creative, they're just going to be like, don't bring any shivs or anything crazy like that. I don't want any issues. Also in action, our rookie tag team champions High Viz, El Diablo Blanco, and the Steel Stud will be taking on the New Canadians in tag team action. 4 other big matches are going to be on the card. Corey Diamond is going to face off against his old members of the company. We also have Candy Chaos in intergender action. Well, I'm assuming it's intergender, and she's in a 3-way match with Spanky and Willie Park. Austin Acid goes against the Masked Man Zamil. Kevin O'Doyle and Brendan the Beast Blake will go in super heavyweight competition, and I've faced both of these guys. Neither one of them are fun to take on. It'll be big meaty men slapping meat if they do it right. And of course, the previous provincial champion, my longtime rival, the best ongoing luchador in Canada, Mentalo, will be taking on Big Cliff in action this Friday. Yes, I was just reading that on the screen. I'll have to deal with that. So that's my wrestling report for this week. I hope you all have had a good time. What do we got here? Exactly. Yes, that's right. Could not live with your own failure. We're going to bring you back to me. Very nice. Well played, Vulcan Nerd. Well played. All right. It's 10:30. I'm thirsty. My throat's dry. I'm tired. I want to thank everybody for being here with me in the live. It really means a lot. Again, if you have a moment, please check out the links down below. It's I've really enjoyed doing this. The live streams have been a lot of fun. I really appreciate all the kind words to everybody who's been understanding of my vulnerabilities when I show them online. Not a lot of that this week. That's okay. Maybe a bit more of it next week. Next week, I am going to do a Christmas Eve show, December 24th. I'll be here live. For anybody who wants to join me, I don't drink, so don't expect me to be doing anything crazier than my my 0-calorie sodas. But I will be here for a bit, and I'll just leave it an open forum, right? Anybody who wants to ask any questions, anybody who wants to talk about anything, if you want to tell me about your holiday traditions, if you want to talk about what's bothering you, what's going on, if you want to talk wrestling, you want to talk writing, you want to talk books or whatever, I'm here, and I'd love to hear from you, and I hope we can celebrate Christmas Eve together for at least a half hour, an hour at that time. In the new year, I am hoping to be able to have more people on this thing with me. I would like to talk to people directly, voice to voice, since I can hear them, you can hear me. That'd be great. That might be fun for other people to witness this chat. I think I've just about got it figured out. I was pretty sure I got the music playing earlier on the way in, so I'm going to try to play it on my outro as well. That'll be kind of fun. And yeah, I am very much enjoying having this channel up and running. If you haven't seen it yet already, on Mondays I'm trying to do From the Vault, where I'm grabbing, I shit you not, matches from my VHS vault, and don't get your eyes all twisted. This is pro wrestling, sort of. It's some very old stuff from like my early years of my career that I'm pulling out, and I'm trying to digitize, putting up online. This last Monday I put up the lumberjack match I had with my old friend Darren the Bomb Dalton, my tag partner and rival. We had a great lumberjack match. I believe it was 2007. The audio on that got a little mixed up again. I'm dubbing it over from VHS, so I'm doing my best. But it's still a very fun match. I hope you all enjoy that if you haven't. Live streams are going to be every Wednesday until further notice. If I can't do live one week, I'll leave a notification. And I'm hoping, after I finish working on this project that Ken was nice to do voiceover for me, after I get that done, I'm hoping to maybe start adding a third upload on Fridays. I'm thinking about doing a Fitness Fridays. Nothing crazy, nothing douchebaggery, but I'm thinking for anybody who's interested in seeing what I do for training. It's usually nothing fancy. I'm thinking maybe a 90-second to a 3-minute video that I upload every week, just with some cuts of like, if anybody's interested in something like that, let me know. But I think that's going to be the plan in the new year. By the end of January, I want to be doing From the Vault on Fridays, Outlaw Radio on Wednesdays, and then Fitness Fridays. And then whatever else strikes my fancy. Yeah, I think that's it. Again, thank you for coming out. It really means a lot to me that anybody takes the time to spend some time with me. And everybody who checks out the replay later, please leave a comment, leave a like. Share, like, subscribe. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm a long way away from getting my watchable hours up, and I'm also a long way away from the subscriptions line where, I can maybe make some money off some ads. Because I, too, could use some money to buy a can of soda every once in a while. And if that's something you're interested in, I'd appreciate you sharing it out and sharing out the word. It really means a lot. You guys are great. Check out the links down below. Again, books, t-shirts, Patreon page. All of my socials should be out there. I'll be back next week. Let's do Christmas Eve together. Tell all your friends. Let's have a little fun. And it's okay not to be okay, even when you're the best goddamn heavyweight in all of Canada. I love you all. I can't thank you enough for being here. It means the world to me. And thanks for watching.